U2NIVERSITY is sponsored by Marco's Pizzeria and Grill in Aston, PA. Make sure you go and try one of their specialty salads, my personal favorite, the tequila lime salad. Or you can go and try their buffalo chicken pizza. Welcome to U2NIVERSITY, and welcome our special guest, Jahbril White.
What's up, everybody?
What's up, bro? How you doing?
Good, how you?
I'm doing good, kid. So, let's get right into it. I've known you for, I don't even know. It's been years on top of years.
Yeah.
You probably was about maybe 6, 7, around that, I think.
Think so.
Okay. When you were younger, we were both football guys.
Yeah.
And football was your main thing growing up. So tell me a little bit about, if you can remember kind of your passion and what got you into football when you started.
To be honest, I really didn't have no other choice but to play a sport. And I didn't know too much about basketball. So it was just like my brother played football. All my brothers really played football and my dad. So I had to continue it.
Okay. And like when you were younger, like I know your mom always talk about, how, good you were in football and how dedicated you were to that, so tell me about, the dedication to a sport, outside of, brothers playing and dad playing, like, what was the dedication like towards football at that time?
It was a lot, cause if I had like a bad practice, a bad game, I go home and I had to hear it. So it was just like, it was one time for the summer, my brother took me out to a football field and just worked me out for like 3 hours.
Okay.
I was like ready to throw up everything. Like I was so done. It was hot. It was like 100 degrees. Like they was not playing it with me when I was younger.
Yeah. That's a good thing though, because they kind of instill that work ethic in you young, and they kind of push you because, that's what happens when you get to the next level. You got to kind of just keep pushing yourself. And, I think you already do that for yourself now, kind of going into, what I've seen, over the last year and some change with everything. Yeah. So transitioning from football to basketball, what was that like?
It was kind of hard because obviously I played football for like 8 years, I think. So I was behind everybody. It took a lot. All I used to do was just shoot. Like, I just shot the ball. I never put the ball on the ground to get to the basket. Never did none of that. I just shot the ball. Okay. So it was kind of hard for me.
Okay. Now, everybody always has this perception of, football players playing basketball and everything like that. Yeah. And it's not always easy. But to you, what was it like, of course, like you said, like you kind of came in just shooting, but when you can kind of flow the way that you do, of course, like from watching you now, I know there was some work that was put in throughout, some time and some summers and everything like that. But basically what I'm saying is like you're a natural athlete. So you come in, you're able to kind of pick up the game at a quicker pace than most can. So kind of dive into a little bit of that.
To be honest, it was just like, like you said, over the summers, it was me putting in work. Besides that, I just like watched a lot of basketball, like a lot of it.
Okay.
Like I didn't understand the calls like at all. like that's what I'm saying. Like I never put the ball on the ground. I just always used to travel, walk, everything. Okay. So it was just like me watching a lot of basketball, me practicing a lot. It's just like it made it easier for me to just understand the game more.
Okay. So you have an unusual story. Not most people have a story like you do, and there are some kind of unicorn athletes, and we know one personally ourselves other than you, and that's in Amber, and we'll get Amber out here to talk about that a little bit. But you started playing basketball, if I'm not mistaken, your sophomore year of high school, right?
Yeah.
And you went from basically, like you said, kind of not knowing anything at all, not playing a lot, to coming in to sophomore year at William Penn, on the JV squad, and then junior year, same thing, kind of still a little bit behind the 8 ball, and then transferring into TCA, coming in and getting a varsity spot. So tell me about the transition of, or kind of just dive into your own story about everything and how that kind of worked out for you.
My sophomore year was like my really first year playing like organized basketball during the summer. I played AAU for Philly Pride down in Delaware, and when I came in, I thought I was like doing better than I usually would.
Okay.
Like, I was way better than I was before, but compared to other people, I was still behind.
Okay.
So I was still wouldn't see the court as much. As we all know, AAU doesn't have 4 quarters, only has 2 halves. So I wouldn't get into like maybe a minute or 2 at the second half, so it was pretty bad. I was a situational player. Like, all they needed me was 4 shots.
Okay. So
it was just like my junior year, actually, I just got in the gym. My dad got me a trainer. Trainer worked me like a lot. That's where some of my stuff comes from as well. He helped me with my dribbling just a little bit, and I appreciate him for that. Like, shout out to him. But it was just like a lot at a court. So my dad got me a shooting machine. Shot on it every day. I put up maybe 300-400 shots a day.
Yeah.
Like, I dribbled everything, paper bag or plastic bag over the ball. Like, I did everything. Like, I did everything to make me get better at basketball.
Okay.
Junior year at Penn, played JV. Again, I didn't get as much time. It felt as though like it was kind of a slap in the face because I put this much work in to still not be able to show what I'm capable of.
Right.
Then my junior summer going to my senior year, came to play for you. And everything changed.
Right.
You got me in the gym. First, I was at Philly Pride. Then I came over here. And then my life with basketball, it just changed so much.
Right.
Like, I was more efficient. Like, I was just able to score at my own pace now.
Right.
I was able to put together combos, shoot off the dribble, everything. Like, I was doing things I never thought I could do.
Yeah.
And then coming here was just like all I needed was just a coach to believe me.
Right.
And you gave that to me, so it's like I appreciate that from you. So, yeah, like all the training and everything, it helped a lot.
Well, that's good. I mean, I appreciate you, letting me kind of take that next step and kind of pushing you to get to that next step in the game. And I mean, when you came in the AAU practice, the first practice, I always remember this practice. You came to AAU practice, and your guy Noah, Noah being Noah, first thing he comes to me after practice, is he coming to play for us? Is he come play? Because I think that first day in practice, you shot the lights out, and not only was it Noah, but then Bernie, Isaiah, same thing. You're like, is he gonna come play for us? And it's crazy that the way you kind of put everything. You play for Philly Pride, and Philly Pride is a well-known organization in Delaware and Philly, of course, Jersey. Yeah. Basically around the country. Like, when people see Philly Pride, they know, and that's what a lot of different teams. Philly Pride, Team Final, Kalo Elite, a couple of Adidas teams and Under Armour teams. It's you know the name.
Yeah.
And from you saying, I don't play as much on Philly Pride, to you coming here and kind of getting in your own element and finding your game and finding your niche, it's like, that's what I love to see, not only from you, from all the guys that, I've worked with over the last, since 2017 or whatever the case may be. So and I say that like I'm old. Like 2017, I was only 18, 19 years old. So kind of just working people out and getting people in the gym. That was my thing, and that's what I love to see and love to hear from you guys. So you come to TCA, big transition, like we talked about a little bit, going from a JV player to a varsity player. And you come to TCA, and you actually meet Coach Sareka at our last AAU game up in Spooky Nook. So tell me about your first meeting, or just overall aspect of Coach Sareka and how he's made an impact on your life as well.
First meeting with Coach Sareka, like you said, was at our last game, Spooky. I think I went up to him before the game. I was like, introduced myself to him, and I was just like, he asked me about me coming to TCA. I was like, yeah, coming to TCA, plan on doing good things there. And he was like, yeah, I hope so too. So he seen me play, and then after the game, it was just like, I went up to him, he was like, yo, bro, good game. Like, I forgot how much I had that game, but I know we played like a team that was, we had a small team, so it was like, team was much bigger than it. It was like, what, like 6'2" lineup?
Yeah, I think the lineup was like 6'2" and up.
So it was just like, for me to still perform against that basically different level of how they play, is just like crazy. Then like my relationship with Coach is just like, I came to TCA first practice, I thought he was harsh. I'm like, yo, like he put me, like we always talked about this before, he put me at the 4 position in fall league, and I was like, why did he put me at the 4? Like, that's not me. It's like kind of limited in me to what I can do.
Right.
But then you told me, and I'm like, yeah, I understand now. So it's like, it made me look at it the way in Coach's eyes. Right. So it's like I understood what he wanted from me more, because he knew I could do more things.
Right.
So I respect him for that, and he basically believed in me, like, as well. So it was like, any coach who believes in me, like, I feel like I can have a special relationship with him. That's why I would respect Coach, and he will be one of my best coaches I've ever had.
Right. Okay. So you hear, you're already a little bit into the atmosphere here, because I mean, practice here all summer. Yeah. You with Joe, you with Noah, you with Hakeem, and you're just in that element already of kind of what we do here as a culture here at TCA. Because a lot of what I do, especially over the last couple years, even after starting U2 Elite, stems from Coach Sareka, and what he does and how he does things. And if you guys remember kind of the transition of how we were doing things in the summer to then us kind of changing everything, but for the better, because it definitely was. And to be honest, it really wasn't a big change. I mean, I know you guys thought it was, but it really wasn't such a big change. But, tell me about, and where I'm going with this, that big change. We go into our first game, not fall league, but our first game. We play Faith. Yeah. 30-point game. Yeah. Dive into a little bit of that feeling. How you felt that game? What was going on?
I don't know. It's like before the game, on the way up there, Faith is a long ride. I would never take that ride again. On the way up there, I was like locked. Like, it's my first varsity game, like, ever in high school. I'm like, yo, like, I'm nervous. Like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like, I'm sitting here locked. Everybody else talking on the bus. I haven't said not one word since we got on. Then we get off. We get into the school. I'm listening to what Coach is saying before we go out there, but I'm still, like, in my own head, like, bro, what am I gonna do? Like, am I gonna have a good game? Am I gonna have a bad game? Am I gonna have an okay game? So I'm just, like, focused, like I'm just walking back and forth, pacing. Then the game start. I think we were up, maybe 5 or 10. I don't think I scored yet. And then I hit my first 3. I'm like, oh yeah, this felt good. And then we had got on a fast break, and I got the ball, and I heard Coach say something like, bro, slow down. I just go and just back up into the corner, just shoot it. And I see Coach at the corner of my eye, like, and it go in, and he just stops and like, I'm like, oh yeah, it's time for me to turn up. And then after that, it was just shot after shot after shot, cut after cut, layup after layup. So it was just falling for me.
Yep.
And then when he took me out, I'm like, what you take me out for? He was like, you got 30 points. I'm like, what? I'm like, I got 30? He was like, yeah. I seen it. Had like 33, I think. I'm like, whoa.
That was a big game for you, kind of big game for us, kind of just leading into our season. So what do you kind of like looking back at this season, what can you take away from the season? I mean, I know it wasn't what we wanted as a group, because, you know, with everybody, you know, with the group that we had, you know, with you, Hakeem, with Joe, with Noah, with Chris, Sir Guy. I forgot to mention Sir Guy earlier too. Wow, I apologize, Sir Guy. But like, what do you take away from this season? You know, of course, like I said, like it didn't work out the way we wanted to. But what do you feel like, you know, you can take away?
I feel as though like you said, the season didn't go the way we planned it. I felt as though I could have did like more things. Like it was some games where it was multiple games. It was like back-to-back games where I couldn't hit a shot. Like, and I felt as though if I would have stepped it up more on defense and on offense by attacking the rim more, I felt as though it could have helped us like more and more and more.
Right.
But it was just me in my head to where as though it's like I'm missing, and it just brought me down. But like besides that, I feel as though it took us a little while to play together as a team because, yeah, we played in the summer, but it was more free for us. It wasn't more like, yeah, you got to do this play like perfection. Like if you don't do it, you just don't just go ahead and try and score it or like reset it. Like, yeah, like we had to reset the play and do it over again, or we had to do another play. So it was just like this year, if you score, you score. And it was like kind of confusing for us because as well, like the transition summer, we was able to take mid-range shots. We come in, can't take a mid-range shots at all. So it was just like it's different. It's like, well, we can't take mid-range.
Right.
So it was just a lot of stuff that we had to work out too. But once we got it down, we got it down and pat go.
I mean, and there were games where, I mean, me and Coach on the bench, we'll look at each other like, man, we look great. And then because when it worked, and you guys looked amazing when it worked. But then, you know, there were games where it was like we kind of were back at square one. And I mean, like, those games were like midway through the season, and it kind of looked like, man, like, didn't we work on this in practice? Didn't we do this? Didn't we do that?
Yeah.
So there were a lot of times, like, you know, we're questioning, you know, like, not you guys, but like ourselves, you know, and, you know, we've I mean, us as a team, we've had the conversation and we've kind of, you know, dived into that and kind of gotten into that aspect. But, you know, I think that you guys kind of, you know, you had a decent season. You know, I don't think this season was a bad season whatsoever.
Yeah.
You all of you guys learned something. So next thing is, you know, you talked about a little bit of you getting in your own head and things of that nature. And again, like I talk about this a lot now because, you know, not everybody knows, but I'm back in school. And I'm back in school to be a sports psychologist. Mm-hmm. So mental health is big, you know, not with just regular people walking around, but athletes, you know, coaches, everything. So you're in your head, but what are you doing or like after a game, before a game, even during a game? Like, what is it for you to kind of get yourself out of that space and kind of lock back in?
For me, it was like after I have a bad game, like I'll think about it all the way home. Like it was just like I would think like I could have did this better, or I could have did this instead of doing that.
Right.
So it was just like the thoughts, and then it's like you go to school and you still gotta think about it. Like not people like criticizing you, but it's like, dang, bro, what happened last night?
Right.
So it was just like you gotta make sure that at least if you win the game, you can at least have like an okay game.
Yeah.
But if you lose and you had a bad game as well, that's like a lot.
Right.
So it's like to get out of that, it's just like focus on the next game. Like you're gonna have bad games. Like it doesn't matter who it is, LeBron, Curry, KD, like everybody is gonna have a bad game. You
Right.
can't just dwell on that one bad game and let it just take over the rest. Like, it's not good.
Good. Yeah. I respect that. So we finished the season. Unfortunately, again, you and Hakeem and Chris couldn't finish it out the way that you guys wanted to.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, due to some PIAA regulations, which is okay. But you guys came here for a better situation. But after the season and everything, now you got a decision to make.
Yeah.
Your recruiting process didn't go, of course, as you planned. I've been with you the whole way through that. But talk to me a little bit about that whole process, what you're thinking, how everything is kind of just moving with you, and how you're kind of taking everything.
Once the season ended, I was just like nothing rolled in yet. When you feel like, oh yeah, I'm doing good, I have colleges looking at me, I'm going to camps for these colleges and showing them what I can do, and then it's like once the season is over, it's like, yo, nothing came in.
Right.
And it's like, I was thinking, I'm like, bro, am I going to go to college and play ball? Like, what I'm gonna do? I had interest from College of New Jersey,
Okay.
LBC, which I'm going to, and there was a couple other schools, but it was like at least College of New Jersey. I'm like, yo, I didn't even get anything from them, so it was just like, once I got something from LBC, I'm like, whoa, I got something from them, like they want me to come here and play for them. I'm
Right.
like, whoa. Went on a visit. It just changed. Like, my whole mindset changed. I'm like, yo, I'm coming here. Like, my first visit, I'm like, I'm coming here. I played an open run with them. I'm like, yo, I gotta come here. Like I don't even care about any other school. I told my mom, like, after the workout, I'm like, yo, mom, I'm coming here. Like, I don't want to go to any other school. I'm coming here.
Right.
And she was like, you sure? I'm like, yo, I'm sure. Like, I don't care about any other school that's probably waiting. Like, yo, I want to come here.
Right.
But I went to another visit for Clark Summit, and I was like, nah. Like, it's more, like, no shade to Clark Summit, but it's just like, it's more than just being like for basketball.
Right.
I'm like, nah, I can't see myself here.
Right.
So I'm like, LBC is like, it's a great fit for me.
Okay.
So yeah, but like, if you don't get anything from coaches, if you don't hear anything from coaches, don't just let that just be like, yo, I ain't gonna go nowhere and play ball. Like, there's still opportunities out there that you can go and get. You just gotta put yourself out there, basically.
Right. Right.
And just for me, I just prayed on it. It's just like, bro, like, I need to get something. Like, I need to go somewhere and play ball. Like, I didn't put all this work in for nothing.
Right.
So it's just like, just keep your head up. Don't just think you're not gonna go anywhere.
Okay. And, what we did there, I was always texting you, yo, are you submitting emails? Are you sending emails? What are you doing? And, I remember we had got to a point where I'm like, man, just give me your account.
Yeah.
And I did the same thing with Joseph. Like, just give me your account, your NCSA account. We're just going to send out a mass email to a bunch of colleges.
Yeah.
And you never know what you're going to get in that process, because it can help you kind of just go a long way. And, that's what I'm trying to instill in you guys, that, like you were just talking about, you can't give up. Like, that one thing, just typing up an email, sending an email out to colleges, and literally all the same email, just sending it out to different coaches.
Yeah.
You just never know. And that's what it took. And, like you said, all the work that you put in, everything that you're doing, there's more work to do. It's no point in stopping anything. So, that's the thing where you got to learn, like, you just got to continue to push and continue to just work, because you never know an opportunity that can come about. So, I'm glad that you're, taking your talents to Lancaster Bible College, and going to, go to work hard there. I'm trying to get you guys ready right now in the summertime, because, like I said, like, it's going to be a different ballgame, because, like you said, like, your transition JV to varsity, and now you're going from varsity to go and play college basketball.
Yeah.
All within just a couple years. So
yeah.
That's a great thing. So, couple little quick hitters for you. Sub-Zero. Where'd the nickname come from?
Basically going back to the first game. Well, this is before the first game.
Okay.
I was thinking, I'm like, yo, what number I'm gonna get? Like, I didn't know which number I was gonna get. I was gonna go back to 2, but then some guy already had 2, so I'm like, all right, I can't get that. I'm like, I can't get 3 because Blake had it.
Right.
I'm like, yo, what number I'm gonna get? So I'm like, I need a single digit number. I can't have a double digit. So I asked Mr. Hayes. I was like, Mr. Hayes, what single digit number you got back there? He was like, I got 0. I'm like, 0. I'm like, that don't sound too bad. So he was like, all right. I'm like, matter of fact, Mr. Hayes, let me get 0. And then I wore it to Faith. And then during the game, my brother, Mach.
Mm-hmm.
No, matter of fact, it was before the game started. We was about to do tip-off. And I'm walking over to where I got to be at. And all I hear is, come on, Sub-Zero, turn up. I'm like, yo, that's kind of hard. I'm like, yo, that's kind of hard, Sub-Zero.
Okay. Now, of course, coming into, like I talked a little about it, coming into AU, and then now coming into TCA, kind of known as the shooter.
Yeah.
So you kind of already touched on it, like where you got the shoot machine, you're just putting up shots and everything like that. So what do you feel like outside of being a shooter that you have to work on?
To be honest, everything still. Like, everything still needs to be sharpened. Like, right now, it's like, it's okay. I can still do the things I need to do to score. But everything can still be sharpened. It's like, you're going to play basketball. If you're going to play basketball, everything still needs to be sharpened. Like, it doesn't matter how good you think it is or not. Like, you can play one good, for example, you're on offense. You think your handle is, like, out of this world. You can play one good defender, and then all of that is, like, out of here. Like, so everything still needs to be sharpened.
Right.
So I still got to get in the gym. Still got to get bigger, wise, dribbling, shooting, finishing, defense, everything.
Okay. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't charge it to my heart, charge it to my head. What you were first team All BAL this year, or second team?
Second. Yeah, I was second team.
Second team All BAL. So I mean, that's a great accomplishment on top of getting into a college. Talk about the feeling of being second team All BAL.
It was just like, when I seen it, I was in school, and we're not even supposed to be on our phones in school, but I was like, bro, I gotta see it. I gotta see if I made the list. So I'm like, yo, I asked teacher, can I go to the bathroom? She was like, yeah. I went, I checked for it, and I'm like, yo, I made second team. Like, I don't even care if I didn't make first team. Like, I made second team.
Right.
Like, out of every team in the league, I made second. Like, I did a lot.
Yeah.
I went from not playing basically barely any minutes on a bench for JV to coming here and making second team. Like,
right.
It's so much. It's just like, yeah, I really put a lot of work in to get to where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
So it's like, I almost screamed in the bathroom too. I ain't okay. like, I was about to be like, yo, I made second team. And I was like, I can't do that. I'm in school. But I was just like, wow.
Yeah.
My day was just...
It was made after that, huh?
Yeah. I was walking through the whole school day smiling. I'm like, I made second team, bro.
So, and now I'm going to dive into a little bit of your jump shot. Where and how did you learn your technique?
Curry.
Steph Curry?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, people blame him for it now. Like, he ruined the game, but it's like, bro, he changed it. Like, he ain't ruined it. He changed it for a lot of people.
Right.
Like, before everything else, like handle, finishing, my shooting, like, kind of made it like, yo, he's a shooter. Like, put him on a team if you want to get shots.
Right.
So it was just like, he changed it for me for my shooting wise. Like, I knew, like, I really studied how he shot.
Okay.
Like, the flick of the wrist, everything, how your feet got to be set up, your body. Like, I focused on everything. Okay. Like, I basically watched, like, an hour a day of Curry shooting. Like, it was nonstop where I would just be on YouTube watching Curry shoot the ball.
Right.
So that's where it really came from, to be honest.
Okay. Last question. What has the game of basketball taught you in life? Actually, I got one more question after that, and I'll let you.
To be honest, you got to be humble with basketball. You're not going to have those games where you can be able to score 30 every night. Yeah. You're not going to be able to have those games where you score maybe 20 points, 5 boards, and however many assists. You're not going to have that many type of games. Like, I didn't have that many. And I was just thinking, like, yo, why am I not? Like, it was games where I had maybe 8 points, 2 rebounds. Like, it was just a whole bunch of those. But then I realized, I'm like, I can't really think too much on why I'm not getting it. It's just like, I got to be humble. I got to let the game come to me. Oh. So it's like, just be humble. Yeah. The game will come to you whenever it comes to you. Don't try to force it. Like, it's just, you get it. You don't. It's not just going to be like you just don't get it.
Right.
It's going to come to you eventually, so don't force it.
Okay. This is my last question. And, I mean, you drive up here with me all the time, and you know I love to listen to podcasts. So yeah. We listen to Paul George. We listen to Through the Wire. We listen to I just turned on, I think, Jeff Teagues today.
Yeah.
But a question that I love that they ask, who's one person that kind of has put you in a position where it's like, man, I got to work a little harder. Like, one person that you've played. So one person that's kind of cooked you or whatever the case may be to kind of put you in a position like, man, I got to get better.
To be honest, it is not like to toot my own horn. Like, I've never really played anyone that really, really cooked me, like skunked me. I've never.
Right. Okay.
I say it's only 2 people. And you mentioned his name, Joe.
Okay.
Joe is something different. Like, that's my homie, but it's like, bro, he's a crackhead on defense. Like, it was to the point where I didn't want to put the ball on the ground when he guarded me. I'm like, bro, why are you guarding me?
Yeah.
Like, he's one of the reasons where it's like, if we're on the same team, like, I'm glad we're on the same team. like I'm glad we're on the same team, but then it's like on defense, whereas though, like, I'm slacking a little bit. He'd be like, bro, what are you doing? Like, bro, I know you can play better than this.
Yep.
So, like, he's one of the reasons why I play defense like a little bit more tougher, and that needs to get better.
Right.
And also he was like, bro, like, the way I dribble, sometimes I don't go nowhere. But, like, most of the time I do. He was like, bro, every dribble you do, like, you got to go somewhere with your dribble.
Yep.
He's like, you just can't depend on just shooting. Like, you got to go somewhere with your dribble. So, he's one. And then Maj, my brother.
Okay.
Everybody probably had this when you have an older brother. He bullied me. Yeah, he bullied me when I was a kid on the court. So it was just like, I gotta get bigger.
Yeah.
Like, I can't just rely on just shooting. I can't rely on just anything. Like, he gets the ball, game's over. Like, I don't even want to play. Like, if he gets the ball, I'm going to the house and I don't want to play anymore. So now it's just like, it's different because now I'm much taller. I got more strength than I did before.
Right.
I got a bigger game than I did before. So those really the only 2 people that really made me, like, change the way.
Okay. Well, man, I appreciate you coming out, giving us a little sauce today. And that's a wrap. Appreciate you, bro.
Thank you.